I'm going to go over muddy colors and bleeding colors with watercolor painting. So, when you go to paint, okay, water is the most important thing. So you want to use clean water, change it often. When you get the water on your brush, you want to make sure you tap it off on the side, and then you go from the water right directly to your color. I'll just go ahead and use red. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and paint. And when you paint, make sure you hang on to part of the metal part of the brush. This is called the ferrule. If you hang on to the wood handle, you're going to get really shaky and can make a lot of mistakes. Hang on to part of the metal ferrule and you're going to be a lot more in control of the brush. And then you have the hairs, which are called bristles. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint across here. This is just a flat technique, watercolor paint, flat paint technique, where it's just kind of all flat and nice and smooth looking. Okay, this should be transparent, see-through. Should be able to see the water through it, such as that. Alright. If you take your brush, not very much water, or you're scraping your brush on the side, or you're taking your brush and drying it on a paper towel, any of those things, when you do that, okay, what's going to happen is when you go to paint, you're not going to have enough water on your brush, and you go to get the paint out from your paint tray, and then you go to paint. What you're going to have is you're going to have some very dark watercolor paint, such as that, where you can't really see through it. Okay, that is called opaque. So you can see that I've got, basically I'm painting with color waters instead of watercolors. It's very dark, very opaque. You cannot really see through it. Here you can see the white showing through. There it's just really super dark, opaque. You cannot see through it. So you want to avoid colors such as this. These are called muddy colors, which are opaque. You cannot see through them. So again, it's very important. Clean your brush off, tap it on the side. That way you have enough water in the bristles to add to your color. And we're not just dumping all kinds of water into your colors like this, back and forth. Okay? So you want to add plenty of water on your brush. And then when you go to paint, you'll paint and it'll be nice and transparent, such as this. And it will not be muddy colors. Okay? You want transparent colors, not opaque colors. So transparent, such as this one on the left, the one on the right, the one in the middle, way too dark. This is an example of a muddy color. Alright, something else to avoid are bleeding colors. And I'll just switch to a different color. Switch to some blue. And I'll just go ahead and paint our little transparent color here of some blue. Okay, notice I'm hanging on to the metal part of the brush. So there's a little transparent area of blue. Okay, clean my brush off, tap it on the side. I'm just going to go to like a yellow. Okay, just adding the water with my brush. So, transparent yellow. Now, if I'm painting side by side, such as this, what can happen, even though it's transparent, if these touch each other, then you start having this happen. This is called bleeding colors. They're leaking and they're mixing together. Okay, and there's not really a whole lot you can do to avoid that. So what you do when you paint, okay, I mean avoid it actually running together. You can avoid it happening all together by when you paint. I'll switch back to blue for the other side. When you paint, make sure you skip around on your paper and make sure the colors do not touch each other. So I'm just getting very close, but I'm not having the colors touch. So I'm not starting to get this this kind of a greenish, bluish green color, because blue and yellow make green. Starting to get some green color in there. So you want to make sure they don't actually touch each other so they don't bleed together, such as that. Okay. If they touch each other and they start to bleed, such as that, so now it's starting to bleed. The best thing you can do, paper towel wrapped around your finger, dry part of paper towel, you push down and then you pull up like that. That's about the best thing you can do to try to fix it. So part of a dry paper towel, wrap it around your finger, nice small smooth area, push it down, and then you pull it up like this, and then you want to maybe try to go over that again. Might be the next day, might not be dry in time later that period, but that's the best thing you can do. I'm going to try to catch it early when it just starts like that. This over here I let go for quite a long time. You can see how it eventually spread all the way across. But if that starts to happen, you want to just go ahead and try to get that right away. So the best thing you can do is just dry paper towel around your finger, push down, pull up. You don't want to rub, okay, back and forth. You just want to push down and pull up. That's like called like blot drying. You just like going like this and pulling it off. It's called like blot. Just blot drying, trying to pull that up. It's the best thing you can do. And then the next day, or if it's beginning of the period, if it's the end of the period, I can go back and try to fix that. Alright, so we want to try to avoid opaque, muddy colors, and we want to try to avoid bleeding colors where they mix like that. So it's very important to make sure that you skip around on your paper when you go to paint. Alright, so some more things about watercolor.